Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Lund and welcome to another episode of the Supper Club Social, where we review restaurants, movies, and TV shows, talk about home bars, cocktails, and pop culture.
Yeah, buddy.
With me today is the king of outdoor cooking, Roy Smith.
Hello, everybody.
Man, we are ready to rock.
Yep, another nice, perfect temperature day in Linda's.
Man, I can't wait to record when it's 90 and we're like, remember when we recorded when it was 38?
Yeah.
Oh, but man, that's what keeps it fresh, you know?
The things we do.
We stay well preserved. It's good for your skin.
It is.
Well preserved,
Keeps it all nice and tight.
There's no UV rays getting through these triple layered tarps.
Sure isn't.
Cool. Well, we got a full show for everybody. We've got happy hour, segment of the week, supper club, and a special interview.
Yep.
And a ski report.
Yes.
I guess so. We're really we're doing it up here. All right, you guys. Well, we are going to our ski report. We have Lyle up on the top of a mountain somewhere. Lyle, where the heck you at?
We are at 49 degrees north today, and it is, what is today? January something?
Ooh,
and it feels like
something.
It's March.
Feels like March.
January 14th.
It's the 14th.
Yeah,
Okay.
January 14th.
Here's my little ski buddy.
Yeah, nice.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
This is your first time on the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on the Supper Club Social.
Glad to be here.
What's
So I
our-
can be with you guys today.
What's our current temperature up there?
Temperature, I would say, would be about 34, 35. It's definitely not freezing.
Doing temperature by Braille also, it
Mhm.
sounds like.
Yeah, I think someone's going to look it up here for me.
Okay. You
So
got
what do you
your,
guys been?
do you
Oh,
have
sorry.
your special guest that you were going to bring on? Is she around?
She is grabbing our beer
Oh,
as I speak.
gotcha.
She's coming out. So we've got my longtime friend Garnet's godmother. Her name is Moozy. That's her code name.
Oh, nice.
And we've been skiing together for, I think, 26 years.
Oh, wow.
Long time.
Yeah, longer than
Yeah.
our friendship.
Yeah. I don't have underwear that old. Usually that's the joke, I've got underwear older than that. No.
Oh, she's here with, so we like to enjoy. We've got a couple drinks that we enjoy up here.
Yeah. What do we
One.
got?
One is a red beer.
Oh,
So
get your vitamins.
This is a Coors, well, or breakfast. This is Coors Light with a Bloody Mary mix.
Nice.
Interesting.
Oh, kokanee.
Got some floaters in
and
there.
Garnet's got cinnamon roll.
There we go.
Oh.
And
Hi.
And the other essential
I'm gonna go
is
get
a traveling Stedman.
Nice.
nice, I like that.
We
What's in a
should
have-
Stedman?
We should have had stuff for Stedman's.
Yeah. What's a Stedman? I've
Stedman is-
never heard of it.
A Stedman is equal parts Fireball and BV caramel.
Oh, the black velvet
Yeah.
caramel. I like it. Are you keeping track?
Yeah.
of time?
Yeah, 9 minutes.
Okay. Good deal. Well, so you're carving up the POW. You got your ski buddies, plural.
Yep. And here's oh, is Moozy ready? This is my friend Moozy.
Moose.
You ready? Come sit next to me.
My sister had a similar nickname. We called her Boozy.
She called you-
My
is
dad.
that a talkative one? Is that the talkative
Yes.
sister?
Yeah, my
Okay.
dad nicknamed her that a long time ago. I'd have no idea how it came up.
I bet she loved that.
I think it was how she was conceived, maybe.
Mm.
Let's call her Boozy.
Just rolls
Scoot
off
over.
the tongue.
Yeah. Oh, well, how...
All right, here comes my sister from another mother and father.
And father, yeah. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Thanks
I
for
think
joining
you-
us on the supper club. Roy, lean in so she
My
can see you.
pleasure.
I don't know if I can see me.
Can you see Roy?
Yep.
Hi,
Okay,
Roy.
good.
Hi, Loy.
Well, yeah, you're about to you're sharing your. So what's this mountain called? 49 degrees north.
This
That's
is
the
49
resort?
degrees north. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a resort. Is it a resort?
I heard it's pretty swanky up there.
No, it's no
Oh.
Schweitzer. Thank
Oh,
God.
that's Schweitzer. That's right. That's right.
Not Schweitzer.
We'll have to
But
call
again,
Eric
we're at-
next.
Yeah.
We're at the yurt.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a main lodge, and you can see how foggy it is.
Oh
I
yeah.
hope you can.
So if you go up, do you get out of the fog at all?
No, it gets
No.
worse. It's so in stuff like this, you ski next to a tree line, so you have some sort of vision, something that contrasts with
Yeah.
the white.
I ate him on my way down on the tree line because he took my line. So
Oh,
he went like this, and so I went like this.
gotcha.
So as you're carving, you're making like S's, and then so aiding someone is like you are
No aid.
creating
Oh.
an 8 shape.
Eight.
through
It's
that
wish you
line.
could pronounce that the GHT on that, just so it's clear on what everyone's talking about. Yeah, that skiing next to a tree line, it's like you got certain death on your right and an open path on the left.
Yes, but that certain death could be a good thing.
I better add in, I did not create that expression that I ate somebody. It's very old.
Gotcha.
I learned it in the 80s. However, we have another peep sitting with us who's a long-time skier also, and he said he never heard of it.
Oh wow, there you go.
Oh, he said figure eight. We just said, I ate you.
Oh. Yeah,
That makes sense.
I ate you too. Don't.
I don't want to sound weird.
I ate you too. That can go a lot of directions.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of. I like it.
Yeah.
I think we took it a different direction than what she meant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Lyle, at the risk of running out of recording time on stuff, I think we'll wrap up our segment here unless you got something else to add from the mountain.
Nothing profound.
Yeah?
Miss you guys. What was your cocktail today?
We're going to go with an unbonded Irishman, which
Nice.
is technically a bonded Irishman, which is a bonded whiskey with
Irish cream.
Irish cream, but somebody didn't get bonded whiskey, so we created the unbonded Irishman.
It's good to improvise.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what the people like, is when we're, free flowing, and it's the creativity, it's the magic,
Yeah.
That's what you got to get.
And fly
Yeah.
by the seat of your pants.
That's
That's
right.
right. All right. Well, have fun eating each other, and we'll check in next time.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Recording.
I totally ate him.
Yeah.
What time is it? Okay.
Oh,
we're
that's
good.
funny.
Okay, we're done. We're not in the crunch zone.
Well, that was fun.
That's perfect.
That was a fun time.
Yeah. This is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Amy was like, why does it take you guys so long to set up all the time? I'm like, because we're not yet reproducing anything yet. It's new every episode. But I feel
This looks like a good setup, though.
we're getting pretty dialed in. Why didn't we ever set it up like that before? It looks...
Trial by
This
error.
is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
set
that
up.
is how it's supposed to
even
be.
on the box, it shows it like
Yeah.
that. Instead, we just got.
We gotta
shit
take the long
everywhere.
way around sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes
We're in it for the scenery, right? Not the time.
long way around, not to be confused with the dirt road home.
That's right. Well,
Probably cut that out. But.
I'll leave it in. We're doing it all live, no cuts.
Man, well, this is converting to a recording,
Nice.
and
Well, it should be done by the time the next one happens.
while we do that,
Should we do a reset?
yeah, let's reset.
All right.
Roy, let's kick it off with some happy hour.
All right.
Cheers. It's happy hour.
Cheers, cheers, cheers! Happy hour.
That's right. Favorite time of the show.
What are we drinking today, Roy?
Well, it's supposed to be the bonded Irishman, but we don't have any bonded whiskey, so we're doing the unbonded Irishman, which consists of equal parts of whiskey and Irish cream. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of whiskey and 1.5 ounces of Irish cream, shake it in ice, and then strain it into a glass.
We don't do a lot of shaken cocktails in this establishment.
We don't.
So that's exciting.
Mostly stirred, more of a...
So you said ounce and a half of each?
Yep, ounce and a half each. Or if there's enough, you could do 2 doubles,
Well, let's see what we got.
which means you need 6 ounces of both. It looks like we got 6 ounces of whiskey, and I know we have 6 ounces of Irish cream because I have another bottle.
One. I don't know if we have enough room in the shaker for a double.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll find out.
2, 3. Roy, tell me a little bit about bonded whiskeys
All right, well,
as you look at those papers for the first time.
here we go. So, a bonded bourbon is making a huge return to the market. Unfortunately, a lot of bottles are now becoming overpriced and hard to find. But don't fret. There are still many affordable bonded bourbons out there. On March 3rd of 1897, the famous Bottled in Bond Act was passed. This statute made it mandatory for bonded bourbons to be distilled by a single distillery by only one master distiller, all in the same season. It must also be aged in a government-bonded warehouse where Treasury agents can monitor aging barrels. Bonded spirits must also be aged for a minimum of 4 years and be bottled precisely as 100 proof. The spirit also cannot be mixed with another type of spirit. For instance, if there is rum in the bottle, it cannot be mixed with whiskey. This standard of production is confirmed by a seal of quality printed on the bottle. When you see that seal, you know that your spirit buying is aged well and not watered down. The quality of the drink is guaranteed with that seal. For this reason, many bourbon enthusiasts will only drink bourbon that is bonded. Other bourbons are generally cheaper and lack the elegance of a bonded liqueur. If you ever get your hands on a high-quality bottle of bourbon, it is most likely bonded.
Interesting.
We'll end it at that because this is like 6 pages.
Yeah, there you go. There might be some interesting titles if you want to flip it over. Oh, you already flipped. So yeah, we're good.
Nope.
I wonder if all those rules are still the same.
Well, apparently not, because it says you can't mix it, and we're going to mix it with Irish cream.
Well, the thing is still, it would still be.
Oh, like, or in the distilling process, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, yeah, we didn't do that, so we have an unbonded Irishman.
Unbonded Irishman.
Because it is difficult to find in these parts currently at the store we went to this morning.
Which usually has just about
Everything.
and it's about 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Well, let's give these a taste.
Cheers. Yep. That's a good early morning drink.
Yeah.
Even though it's 11 now, but
It sure feels earlier than that.
it does. It's like a nice cup of milk in the morning, you know?
So while we're on happy hour, you know how I like to throw in a couple of questions for you. Are you a square coaster guy or a round coaster, or does it just not matter? You don't care?
I don't like to put any coaster in a corner, you know?
Well, you can't put a round one in a corner.
Exactly. So
But
I
a
don't
square one
discriminate.
fits nice in a
Nope, I
corner.
don't do it, Ryan. I treat them all equally, all right? Right in the
Okay.
center.
So you do care, but no preference.
I don't care.
You don't care. Oh, okay.
A coaster is a coaster.
Sounded like you cared a lot for a second
Nope,
there.
I don't.
All right.
Because, I don't care what they're made out of. Don't care what they look like or what's on them. As long as it's a coaster, it's good enough for me.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So you know how everybody, the rave is all these ice molds of, square things.
Cubes?
And whatnot. Cubes, yeah.
Like all the ones that we have.
Yeah, ice cubes, I guess. Yes, a cubed ice. Why have we not elevated that yet? What I'm picturing...
What do you mean? We have one that's a rose. You have football-shaped ones.
Right. I'm thinking of your bar patron's experience. What you should have is like a full-on ice sculpture of like
In your drink?
like Whoville. No, I mean like a full one.
Oh,
And you come
okay.
over and you chisel off your own chunk of ice.
Oh, I see. I'm sure that probably is a thing.
Look it up. I haven't seen it.
No, there has to be something. Like, when they do those big ice hotels, like, I think it's like
Yeah.
in Sweden or something where they
Sure.
build it every year,
Yeah.
they have to be chipping off blocks.
I haven't seen it, Roy.
Or you think they don't even ice it at all because you're already literally in ice.
Yeah. That's a good point. Plus everyone freaks out when you mess with art.
Yeah.
It's a sculpture, you can't take.
What if you're just chipping off the old block? A chip off the old block is where that saying came from, I
what
believe.
I had this Christmas thing in my mind, and I was picturing like a landscape of Whoville, and you
Of
just
just
kind
ice?
of break off a Who and throw it in your thing.
Oh, so you, like, it's a whole, like,
Village.
of the
Yeah.
Who's. The Who village?
Yeah.
And you just pick your character and throw it in there?
I don't know how you'd make it.
Are they going to dye the Grinch one green?
Yeah, there
Full
you
of
go.
food coloring?
I like it. Yeah. And then you'd be walking around the bar and go, whose drink is that?
Oh, and you could be like, oh, I got Cindy Lou. Who? And that's the only one names I know for the Who's.
Yeah, well, Lou Who. Why are we Christmas?
I don't know.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we're done with that.
We do have a Christmas tree, though, still.
Yeah, why haven't turkey decorations down, Ryan?
You know,
Still holding on?
It's just such a nice ambiance to the bar.
It is nice.
Hard.
It really classes the place up.
I want people to feel the fellowship through the screen.
Yeah.
What else do we have for happy hour here? What we have is, Roy, would this be a specialty at your bar?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's, I mean, we actually came upon this at our Christmas with my wife's family. My father-in-law went downstairs and he's like, oh, take your choice, because they do all the like seasonal gift packs for like booze this time or that time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had that Irish cream one, and my wife picked that, and then I picked the Maker's Mark.
Oh.
And then on the box of the Irish cream, it said, oh, you could do this drink called the Bonded Irishman.
Oh.
And so I'm like, oh, perfect. We have both ingredients
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. And so we just used the Maker's Mark in that, and we've been drinking them on and off since Christmas pretty much.
I have always really liked doing like the drinks that are on like the box or in the card that comes with
It's
whatever.
fun because you never know, because it's like recipes on the back of like noodle boxes and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, how often do you really try them?
Exactly, never.
Yeah, but booze, I'll try it every time.
Yeah, it's all, and it's always a good time.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun time.
So we have next what's going to be the segment of the week, and I just wanted to do a little pre-intro into that segment.
Okay.
We're going to be interviewing Kirby of the Kirby Jeane Creative on Facebook or on Instagram, probably on Facebook too. She was suggested to us from Carly from Spokane Drinks. Underscore drinks, thank you. I'm not sure if they're friends outside of the internet world, but anyway, she recommended us to her, and we got in touch and whatnot. And she does, like, if you go to her page, it's kind of cocktail and food photography and video.
Mm-hmm.
She makes a ton of videos of slow motion making your cocktail type of thing, and it's got a really nice setup and everything. So yeah, that's kind of what we've got dialed up here. It's time to dive into the segment of the week. Everyone, we've got Kirby from the Kirby Jeane Creative on Instagram. Kirby, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Instagram page?
Yeah, so my Instagram page started as a food blog, actually.
Oh.
And I used to create fun recipes. And then because my photography style is a little bit darker and moodier,
Mm-hmm.
started having spirit brands reach out to me and ask if I could shoot some of their cocktails for them in my style. And I was like, oh, I think I like shooting cocktails and
that's fun.
beer and wine and like, food.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like fell into it, and so I just started really leaning really hard into creating cocktails for spirit brands and then for myself. And I'm actually going to be launching a cocktail blog, hopefully by mid-year this year, so I can start sharing my recipes in a more central location, because social media is kind of touch and go sometimes. So I kind of want to have a central location where all my recipes are.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Yeah, I kind of want your own home, I guess, for that stuff.
Yeah, because with social media, you don't as soon as you put it on there, you don't really own it anymore. Facebook or Meta or whatever it's called now,
and it's a company. It could totally go away someday and lose all your stuff. So
exactly.
Cool. Well, first official interview question. When photographing a cocktail, what are you wanting the viewer to focus on?
It really just depends on what the cocktail is.
Mm-hmm.
So usually I like to focus on the garnish, but that kind of changes with whatever kind of cocktail it is. I personally prefer more spirit-forward cocktails that don't usually have much of a garnish, whether it's just like maybe like a little orange peel or something like that. So when I am photographing something like that doesn't really have a garnish, I like to try to capture some form of action, whether that's with like a zest shot or like a drop of bitters into the cocktail and have like a ripple effect or something like that. But usually it's the garnish, that little finishing touch, that little extra,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
jazz that I like to really focus on.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I asked that just because kind of browsing through your videos and whatnot, they're just so well done that it's, I would watch the same one a couple of times and then half the time I'm just like looking at the, or the, what do you call it, foreground, background, that type of stuff. So
Mhm.
I was like, man, I didn't even watch the cocktail that time. So, so I just thought it was like, when you're setting it up, you're obviously you want people to see the cocktail, but you're really
Yeah.
looking for them to kind of pop into this focus for a minute and then over here and then come together type of thing.
Yeah, especially for my video. For video, I really like to kind of set a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to feel, make them feel kind of like cozy and
Right.
a little artsy fartsy, but not too much, like, but
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah.
approachable.
Right.
Also, a lot of the content on my page, at least for the past few months, has been contracted work that I've done.
Oh,
So a lot
cool.
of it like focuses like on the bottle and like pouring
Mm.
that specific spirit and like, that kind of stuff. Just as
Right.
I haven't had a
Yeah.
whole lot of time to create for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky that my partners allow me to post their the content that I make on my own page. So,
Yeah,
Nice.
sure.
Well, yeah, that's great. They don't just take it from you and be like, "Oh, thanks. Here's your
yeah.
pay or
Yeah. They're
whatever."
like, bye.
Yeah.
Right. So is it you doing the stuff in most of the videos or all the videos?
Yeah, it is it's like 99% me.
Right.
And usually I work completely by myself. So
Cool.
there is a lot of like setting the timer and then like running around the table to try
Yeah.
to make it look like I'm doing a thing.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of frustrating. Sometimes my husband comes in and helps me, but
Helps you.
yeah, well, he does. He's really good about it, but sometimes I get a little bit like crazy or I'm not like quite as nice on my delivery on like how I
Yeah.
want things, and I'll be like, move the
Yeah.
camera over there. And he's like, where is there?
Right.
So
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having our wife
Look at
come
a
out here and
little
try to help.
Oh man. Yeah, you have to substitute passion or crazy for passionate.
yes,
A passionate
yes.
response.
Yeah.
And I'm Italian, so that passion runs like real deep.
Yeah.
So
Right. There you go.
yeah, and he's a very quiet man. So he's just like, oh, she's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's fun though.
So another question here. Do you try the cocktails that you make on your page? And if so, have there ever been any ones that you tried and just they weren't for you?
I do taste test almost all my cocktails. I usually make them beforehand when I shoot them because I tend to
Right.
shoot in the morning.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I don't really want a Manhattan at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah. That's how we
mean-
ended up with these.
Yeah.
Um,
What are y'all drinking there?
it's a twist on a bonded Irishman, which is just a bonded whiskey with Irish cream,
Oh,
but we didn't find.
A bonded whiskey, so it's an unbonded Irishman.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of times when I'm filming or shooting, I do dump the cocktail. Unfortunately, I feel so
Yeah.
wasteful, but I'm a morning person, so
Yeah.
Well,
the
yeah, that
morning
makes
when I'm
sense.
most creative.
Yeah.
But while testing recipes, I have definitely had some bombs. Especially when I'm working with a spirit brand that I'm not like really familiar with it. So I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
a really good idea. And then I try it and it is just not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An undrinkable is what we call them.
Yeah. We call them
Yeah,
the
yeah.
undrinkables. I've made a lot of them. Trust me.
Yeah.
Probably
Well,
most of
especially
them.
when you work with like the cream kind of liqueurs,
Yeah.
I find they curdle so easily. You
Yeah.
look at them the wrong way and they curdle. I recall trying to
Yeah.
experiment with like a apple pie martini with like a horchata cream liqueur.
Oh yeah.
The first couple I made, it was just like
Yeah.
constant
Oh.
cheese. Like,
You strain it, then you strain it again, and then you're like, it's still curdled. I can feel it.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, can I turn it into a milk?
Yeah.
Or an
It was-
ice cream,
it was-
maybe.
Yeah.
It was not good. I eventually figured it out, but yeah,
Nice.
that was a rough go for a while.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What's your favorite part about creating your own content or content for brands? Or, taking what they ask you to do and kind of making it your own thing, which I imagine that's why they come to you because you've got your own spin on it.
Yeah, my favorite thing is just being able to use my creativity. I am a former pastry chef, and I did that for a really long time. And I actually used to partner with the bar programs and the restaurants I worked in and making all their syrups and all those kinds of
nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's kind
interesting.
of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool to incorporate that that culinary aspect into my cocktails and kind of thinking about flavors. And because I have such a strong background in like infusing flavors into things,
Yeah.
infusing, interesting things into cocktails. I'm working on like a beet curry cocktail that I think will be like really cool and super interesting.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
leaning on more like the savory side, because like I
Yeah.
do like to push the boundaries a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, I think bringing that experience to cocktails
Yeah.
is cool and fun.
Yeah, cool. Well,
So,
you've got the creativity.
When you
for
make a
it.
recipe like that, do you try to get it in the bars like around town, or do you just kind of keep it to yourself and see if it goes anywhere?
I keep it to myself, but actually the beet curry one is a little play on a cocktail that I got at Bijou on 29th.
Mm.
I like to let the bartenders just make me drinks and just kind of
Yeah.
tell them what spirits they're like and what kind of flavor profiles.
Yeah.
And yeah, they made me one with like this curry bitters in it, and I was like, this is so delicious.
Huh,
I need to
interesting,
do
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
I know we keep trying to go to that place, but we just haven't had the time.
Yeah, we were gonna record at the one off of Second or Sunset, that the smaller one.
Yeah.
But it just it didn't end up working out. But yeah, we're trying to get there.
Yeah, it's so good. They have some really, really creative cocktails there. They're
Mhm.
one of my favorite. They just really like to experiment, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Nice.
Do you have a cocktail bucket list or a cocktail you've tried once and didn't like but want to try again? And I just want to tell you, I'm setting you up for the Negroni here, and as my own path has been the Negroni.
Okay. I desperately want to like mezcal.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
I cannot deal with mezcal, and
Yeah.
I try it maybe once a month.
Yeah.
And, because like your taste buds change, like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
always evolving, and so I'm not one of those people who's like never ever forever. But
Right.
oh my gosh, I don't like
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
like so many different brands, so basically anything that has mezcal in it is a no-go for me, but I want to
Right.
like it so bad because I
Yeah.
love it and it's like in everything. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the last undrinkable he made. He put some
Yeah.
mezcal in a drink, and it was not good.
I made an old fashioned with like a ounce and a quarter of I think it's Maker's Mark, and then 3/4 of mezcal that we got. And I
No.
had it the night before, and I was like, okay, yeah, smoky, not bad, I like it. And then I made it the next day for him and Lyle, who's on our show sometimes, or most of the time. And
It was
they're
so
like,
bad.
I think they almost threw up. And then I tasted it, and I was like, this tastes like chew spit mixed with like
Oh, it was bad.
grass clippings or something. I couldn't believe how bad it was.
Yeah, and my wife loves the mezcal, and she was just like, I'm not even gonna taste it. I'm not even gonna try that one.
I might have forgot to put the syrup in or something like that. It was one of those late night attempts, so who knows what.
I have been there before.
If you could send 2 bars / bartenders to compete in like a big competition, where the judges judge the cocktails by creativity, authenticity, craftsmanship, and whatnot, who would you be, or who would you send from Spokane if you've got an idea?
For one, for sure, I would send Cease and Desist. And I'm not sure if y'all have been there before.
We haven't.
No, Spokane Drinks told us that it was a pretty sweet spot, though.
Yeah.
Carly.
Carly, yeah.
Their cocktails are spot on. They are so well balanced. They really do a lot of like classic cocktails, and they're great. They really know what they're doing there. Yeah, I absolutely. It gets kind of crowded, and it's like really small. So it's sometimes you have to wait. I was actually just there last weekend, and I was just reminded on just how perfect their cocktails are. They're really well balanced and not too sweet, which is something that I like, because I don't like a dessert type cocktail.
Yeah, same here. We're more of I like to taste the spirit and just kind of like a dressed up spirit, basically, I guess.
Exactly. And I like their cocktails, and I think they're so good because I'm a really big gin drinker, and I don't think that gin's popular in Spokane.
Yeah,
So many of the bars like have 1, maybe 2 gin cocktails. But they have a good amount of gin cocktails, and they're familiar with like classics that aren't on the menu, so they can just
Yeah.
whip one up for me. So
Right.
What's your
Yeah.
like? If you were to buy a bottle yourself, what's your go-to like gin to purchase?
You know, it really just depends on what drink it is that I'm making. So
Mhm.
I
Oh,
like
okay.
right now, like I have like 6 different bottles of gin,
Mhm.
and I use them all for different things. So it's really
Right.
hard to answer. But my
Yeah.
favorite, just like all around go-to gin, is Empress, which
That's
is
the
like that.
purple one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were actually my very first client, and
Oh, really?
yeah, and I was just like, you know, and I'm not just saying this because they're a client, but like their spirit is so good.
Yeah.
Why don't you try that
Um,
one?
Yeah.
'cause I
It's been on
love
my radar for a while, but
yeah, it's pretty botanical. It's not sweet,
Mm.
but it does have like a lot of like grapefruit and
Oh,
like
cool.
coriander and stuff. So it makes it just a really fantastic gin and tonic because it
Yeah.
has like a
Yeah.
lot of really nice flavors, and
Right.
it makes like a perfect gin sour, which is my favorite
Mm.
cocktail. Like I could
Mm.
drink a gin sour
I'll have to
every
try
day.
that.
Yeah.
So it's like a whiskey sour, but just you swap out the gin with the whiskey.
Yeah. So it's just gin, simple syrup. You can infuse the simple syrup or
Mhm.
just use plain, and then just lemon juice and
Oh, nice.
that bad boy up. You can add egg white if you want that like kind of
Yeah.
like
Oh,
fancy
well.
extra thing. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't.
yeah. I've got a little egg. I'm egg challenged. I've an intolerance, but I don't know. I could probably do it in a cocktail. I don't know.
I don't
It's
think you
really-
want to try it.
Gotta roll the
It's so
dice.
good. It's so
Yeah.
good in a cocktail. They actually have at my other cocktail to get back to the question.
Sure.
I do deviate.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I would probably choose either Hunt for their cocktails. I'm not sure if y'all have been there.
That's on like Riverside, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just in the basement right underneath Ruins, and I
Yeah.
believe it's the same chef. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
Mhm.
their cocktail program is excellent.
Huh.
I love their cocktails. The only downside is they close at 9 o'clock.
Oh, that's a
Oh.
bummer.
So
That's an early one.
yeah, so it's like, I mean, their food is pretty solid. But I really love their cocktails. But like half the time, I'm not ready to go out drinking until 9 o'clock. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, ooh. So
Yeah,
if you're looking
yeah.
for an early night, Hunt is your place.
Yeah.
Might
But
be
I
our
will
style.
say,
Yeah, we're yeah, early nights are what we tend to do when we're out and about anyways. At Linda's it gets a little later, but
yeah. I mean, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, so and I'm not like a super duper night owl, and it's definitely not anymore.
sure.
But like it's taken me a really long time to get used to everything closing here, at, like 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Yeah,
And I'm like
yeah.
eating my like dinner, and like everyone's closing around me, like staring at me. I'm like, oh shoot, like they're like so
Right.
mad at me
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well,
But I will say, as far as creativity and Spokane, I think I would give it to Bijou. Especially the one on 29th. I've been to the one over on Second once
Mhm.
before. I'm not sure if they have the same cocktail menu.
Yeah, I
But
don't
the
know.
one on 29th, they have a really extensive menu, and they're all super unique and really creative. Like they have a whole, and they separate out by like sours and like by spirit forward and all these different things. So
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it's really
cool.
And
nice.
you can have a mocktail list, which I think is
Oh,
really
yeah, that's
fantastic for people who either don't drink or
Yeah.
are in like a dry January, or if you just want to pace yourself. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I can only have like maybe 2, maybe 3 if it's like a good night.
right.
But I want to, be out and be with my friends for longer than 2 cocktails. So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for
kind
sure.
of helps.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had an officially created mocktail before, but they're definitely getting popular. It seems like every business or restaurant bar has, well, not all, but you see it
Yeah.
way more often now.
Even we go to the radio bar a lot when we do go out,
Mhm.
but they even do mocktails now.
yeah, they've got a pretty big list, I think.
I mean, I just think it's so cool for people who don't really drink, and like rather than just being, oh, I'll get a soda, like they
Yeah.
get to have like the fun, well thought out experience, and I
Mhm.
just think it's really cool and inclusionary and just
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then if like your spouse is like pregnant or something and can't drink, but they want to go out, then you can still feel like you're there having fun with everybody.
Absolutely, exactly, or like breastfeeding or whatever. It's just like
Yeah,
a really
yeah.
nice like opportunity.
Cool. Well, I don't really have any more official questions for you. We've kind of answered all the ones that or with the conversation, we've kind of touched on everything.
What about the one I
Cool.
asked me about?
Oh yeah, that's a good
See?
one.
I get no say.
I ignore you less than I ignore Lyle.
That's
though,
true.
so that's good.
That is true.
Yeah, this is I like this question. It's kind of what you were just saying. Do you think in a city that goes through 4 seasons that happy hour time should be adjusted with the seasons and
Oh,
kind of
yes.
like with the light and whatnot?
I did like this question, and I do think they should be adjusted. Because like especially like in the summertime, like when
Yeah.
it's like light out so late, and you're
Yeah.
like you kind of lose
Yeah.
track of time when it
Yeah.
stays late until 9 o'clock, and you're like, oh, let's go for happy hour, and you're like, oh shoot, it's 7 o'clock.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They should be adjusted.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be really clever. This is only my second year in Spokane, so I'm
Oh,
still
gotcha.
just kind of getting used to
Mhm.
all like the lightness and the darkness.
Yeah,
But
Right.
yeah, I think that I'm fully on board for a seasonal.
There you go, Roy.
I got to win.
Good job. I was actually really impressed with that question, but I don't want you thinking I'm going to ask you for questions every time.
I got some stuff going on up here.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you have any questions for us or anything like that?
Well, how long have y'all been doing this podcast?
Just over a year.
Yeah, just a year.
And our YouTube channel, I think, is a year next month.
Yeah, so we have like a first season that we kind of
Deleted.
unreleased because it was
A different podcast.
we just kind of iterated to this and took that one off. So if we got new listeners, they would start with what we're currently doing. So we did that one. When that was the first season? Was it just last winter?
It had to have been like right when COVID got over.
Oh yeah.
Or
Yeah, it was
February.
during
It was
COVID.
like around February because that's when I got COVID.
Yeah.
And then I did the phone call one.
Yeah.
My voice was all raspy.
So yeah, we haven't been doing it too long. I always kind of say our most current episode is our best episode because we've just learned a little bit more from the last one and kind of keep trying to get better each time. But we also change something every episode, so it's like a brand new setup every time.
Yeah. Well, experimenting and just finding like your groove. I mean, it takes a really long time to figure out what works best and all of that. And what is each of yours favorite spirit?
Ooh.
I have to go with whiskey for myself.
Yeah.
That's just because I think in high school I did everything a little too much, except for whiskey. So
yeah,
the last one you have left.
The only thing I got left that I can I can drink this. I can drink it.
Nice. I would mostly say whiskey also, but I really like tequila. And Roy hates tequila, so we
will not do tequila.
Don't really do it that much on the show, but
he's got me to do a couple of the drinks, but
yeah,
I can just do one and that's it. And that's hard to just do one.
The first season of the show, we followed this book that was called Cocktails of the Movies, and it had like a cocktail from a movie. So we'd watch the movie, review it, and then have the cocktail that was in it. And we picked them at random, and a couple of them were tequila.
Like back-to-back episodes of tequila.
He thought I was cheating, but
yeah, it was bad.
So yeah, I like experimenting with tequilas and stuff like that.
And I want to get more into gin. Like we did, we bought the Rainier gin like once. This was like a joke because their commercials are so funny, and it was really good because it's not so piney. I think that might be what turns people off of gin. Is the pininess of it. We've done a couple drinks of it, like the Gimlet. That was really good.
Yeah. Oh, I love good Gimlet.
And so, but we're always just doing whiskey all the time. So it's like, I don't got time for gin right now. But
yeah,
I think it'd be a fun one to get into.
We made the classic daiquiris. I can't remember what gin we used though.
I thought you used Beefeater, or maybe it was the Aviator.
I think it was the Aviation.
Yeah, Aviation.
And we're working our way through a one of the dry fly. I think it's finished in oak barrels. That one of their gins that is finished in an oak barrel. So that one's pretty tasty too.
Yeah, I was actually while you were saying that you guys are both whiskey drinkers and like gin, y'all might want to try a type of gin called Old Tom gin. Old Tom gin is kind of like a gin for whiskey drinkers. So it has a slightly different distilling process, but usually they're aged. You want to find one that's aged in sometimes they're aged in whiskey barrels or old wine barrels or oak or something like that. And so they kind of have like a really nice kind of like sweet oakiness to them. They're super good.
Is it pretty easy to find? Like at most liquor stores, or you have to go to like Total Wine probably to get it?
Probably a Total Wine to find one. But yeah, they the best use of it is for a classic cocktail called the Martinez. Do y'all ever drink Manhattans?
Yeah.
Yes. All the
Okay, so-
time. That's how this
okay,
friendship
so-
started pretty much.
Oh, nice. So the Martinez is actually the predecessor to the Manhattan. And so
Oh.
it uses that Old Tom Gin sweet vermouth and a maraschino liqueur.
Here, 1 second. We just had our.
Oh.
Maybe this thing just turned off.
It's not turning back on.
I don't feel like it's using.
Our recording device just turned off for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah,
oops.
it's kind of different port I can sub in.
And like I said, I'm sorry, I'm really long-winded. Y'all can just tell me to like stop talking.
Oh, it's fine. We just had like our external battery pack just kind of glitched out on us, so we lost the recording for a
Whoops.
second.
Yeah, our mic's cut out real quick. Yeah, so that's.
But it's still back. We're right. We didn't lose anything that we already talked about. It just kind of cut out for those 2 minutes there.
There. I think that cord is shot. All right. Sorry about that.
So the
that's
Martinez.
Yeah, you were talking about the Martinez.
Yeah. So the Martinez is the predecessor to the Manhattan, and it uses an Old Tom gin. You can use another kind of gin, but it's super good with an Old Tom gin, and it has sweet vermouth, just like a regular Manhattan.
Mhm.
And then it has a maraschino liqueur, and then like a little orange zest and like some Angostura. But
Yeah,
nice.
it is primo. My husband is like #1 Manhattan drinker, and
Yeah.
he is now obsessed with the Martinez.
The
Um,
maraschino
it's
liqueur is something I've seen a ton of recipes, and we've just never like got it around. So that's
Yeah.
one that I've been wanting to pick up so we can make all those.
Yes, it took me a really long time to finally bite the bullet and just buy the bottle, especially because like the Washington liquor tax is insane.
Yeah.
I did not know about that until I moved
Yeah.
here, and I was like,
Right.
oh my word.
Yeah. That's all of our faults. We all thought it was going to be a sweet deal, and it backfired on all of us.
So I was just talking to my friend about that.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, this was 100% us. We did not read the fine print.
Nope. Like, just liquor stores, we can have it everywhere. Let's have it
Right.
everywhere. And then they're like, oh, but we're going to tax the crap out of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Oh, great. So I
Yeah.
actually drive to Idaho to go buy my my liquor, which
Yeah.
feels
Smart.
like a really weird thing to say. Like I drive to Idaho for my
Yeah.
liquor because you would think
Right.
that they would have more stringent liquor
Yeah.
laws. I'm
Cross
sure they
border
do.
laws.
May as well fill up with gas while you're out there.
Yeah. You should.
Oh
'cause
yes,
it's cheaper
yes,
there
definitely get gas.
too.
Good deal. Well, thanks for taking your so much time with us and talking through this.
course.
It'll probably take me a little bit to put the episode together, but I'll shoot you a message when it does. And
Great.
yeah,
Yeah. It's been really nice talking with you.
It was so
Um,
nice chatting with y'all. Maybe I'll just see you around at the Spokane bars.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good interview, Roy.
Yeah.
Glad she took the time to do that, and she seems like she's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to
Yeah.
cocktails.
I know. We're going to have to try that Martinez thing. We'll have to
Yeah.
buy that or what was it? I texted to you.
Marish-
Old Tom's.
Oh, Old Tom's gin,
gin.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go try to find that before the game.
Okay.
I'll drive down to the Full Stop and see if they got it.
Yeah, you're gonna need something probably.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, rookie quarterback in the
Well, he's
playoffs.
been playing pretty good. Pretty good.
What's your final score prediction?
I think it'll be
Let's
close.
just let people know this. We're recording right before the wild card game.
Yeah, which shouldn't even be a matchup. To be honest with
49ers
you.
are the 2 seed.
Yep. and
Seahawks are
you're
the 7 seed.
the last.
But we are more experienced, except for the 5 rookies we have starting.
Yeah. And we have the most dominant defense in the NFL.
Oh.
And here's a good stat for you, because according to my wife, you and Amy have been throwing stats at her that are not accurate.
Oh, well, I've heard they are.
It's
What do you got?
every team that the Niners have beat this year have lost their following game. It's a record in the NFL. They don't recover until 2 weeks later after playing against the 49ers.
Have we played you in the last 2 weeks?
No, I'm just saying.
So
that's a real stat.
that's
Not
an irrelevant
It's not
stat.
the Niners haven't beat the Seahawks 3 times in a row.
You never
it's
have.
No team.
Never in your history.
No team has beat any team 3 times in a row.
Does that not include?
Yeah, but
The
I'm saying
Seahawks?
you guys are making it like it's just this matchup.
Well,
It's every matchup to ever happen in the NFL. No team has beat a team 3 times in a season.
in one season.
We're going to break that record today.
Pretty sure you're not.
I'm pretty sure we are.
I'm pretty sure you're not.
We'll find out. I'm a lot more of a humble winner and loser.
You are gracious. You're a gracious loser.
I am.
I don't know if you're a humble winner because
I'm very humble.
through our whole friendship.
I was here when we beat you earlier this season, remember?
Yeah.
And we just
Regular
said-
season.
We were just like, oh, good game.
I just remember, it's been years of us just hammering you guys.
Yeah.
Throttling you,
Doesn't affect me
manhandling
much.
you, just working you, and you're always like, "Hey, good game, man.
Yeah.
You want another Manhattan?"
Yeah. Because I have nothing, I don't gain or lose anything in my personal life that ever would make me want to argue with somebody about a sport.
Oh wow, really? Wow.
And I've almost gotten in we had to flash some hardware last time they were played in the playoffs. We went to, I was still in the military, and we went to Waddell's when it used to be over here in 5
Yeah.
Mile, and we had like the big room,
Mhm.
like that sunroom
Yep.
area. And I was the only Niner fan in there, with everybody else that was like Seahawks fans or like no fan at all.
Right.
And there was these guys that were just, every time the Seahawks did something, like, wow, yeah, fuck you. And then when the Niners would do something, like, yeah, fuck you. And then they started getting really rowdy, and one of my other buddies in the military had to be like, all right, like,
Oh
here we
goodness.
go. Like, just so you know, like, we're not playing around over here.
Oh, you Niners fans.
No, I wasn't doing it.
Oh.
It was
Sounds
another
like it.
Seahawks fan that was my friend that was like,
Oh.
you don't want to mess with us. Not that we would ever get in a shootout with anybody, but there was a lot
Good.
of booze involved,
Yeah.
and it was like a big thing that year because they were both equal.
Right.
They both barely made it, I think.
back
that
in the
year.
day.
Yeah.
When you guys were good and we were good.
But anyways, yeah.
All right.
That was fun.
Well,
We had the ski report, first time ever.
Yeah.
With Lyle Stiles up there on the mountain
Wow.
at 49.
bringing in the computer into this
I know. We're
operation.
getting all technology advanced.
I feel like you can't even see a lot of cords. Like we're
I know.
doing pretty.
I think we finally figured out the setup.
Cracked the
Almost
code.
a year in, we finally got it.
I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was great talking
Yeah.
with Kirby.
Kirby was cool.
She gave us a lot of good new
good.
drinks to try, some
Yeah.
new liquor to try.
And she was open to joining us at
Yeah,
Linda's, I
and
would
she
say.
could bring her husband, and
Yeah.
we could see what his take on the Manhattan is.
Yeah,
Like, see
oh.
if he's better at making them than you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he is. Oh, maybe.
Or maybe she makes them, I don't know.
It's better than drinking them, though.
No, drinking them out at Manhattan's always good, even when they're not good.
Right. All right, everybody. Well, have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Whenever this comes out, the weekend next.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. And go Seahawks. All right.
Yeah,
bye.
that's what I said. Go Niners. Yep,
Yeah,
all the
go
way.
Seahawks,
We're gonna
bye.
win it.
All
Yep.
right, take it
Niners,
easy.
Niners
Seahawks,
till I die. Yep.
Seahawks,
Always
Seahawks,
faithful.
Seahawks,
Always
Seahawks.
faithful.
All right.
49ers.
All right. Oh, I just wanted to ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
Go Seahawks.
Yep, no 49ers. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to join our club on Facebook at Supper Club Social. Underneath this week's episode, go and write a review of the drink if you've had it or if you decide to make it. And we will pick one or two of the comments and read them out on our next episode.
You can find us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website at www.supperclubsocial.net. We look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Take it easy. Nice.
I didn't know I had to do my
You gotta
part
do your
again.
part again.